Now the key to the Mini Cooper 4-door is, of course, 4 doors. They've never had a Cooper with 4 doors before, though there are other Minis that have 4 doors. The whole car is 6 inches longer nose to rump. About half that much is in between the wheels, extending the wheelbase. 2 inches more rear seat legroom, which if you're going to put in rear doors, you better have a reason to use them. Even the front doors are different to allow these doors to be bigger. And you also get 2 inches of additional shoulder room in the back seat because the whole rear quarter of the car is contoured differently. It's not like they just took the 2-door and hacked it and stuck in an extender. This is a substantially different car from the cowl on back. Still, after all that, it picks up only 110 pounds over the 2-door. Now, the first thing I notice when I get in the current generation Mini that brings a tear to my eye is that this round bezel thing is just a thing. It's no longer ever that big iconic speedometer that Minis used to have back in the day. Now it's simply a place for a screen. We have the largest screen, the 8-inch, that has navigation. Now your other interfaces up here, you've got your motorcycle style tach and speedometer and a little helper LCD down there as well. There's one more screen that's optional, but we have it. That's the little motorized head-up display that's kind of visor style. You can set that to show speed, navigation prompts, calling, and audio. If you use a connected phone in the console cradle, nobody has more audio choices than these guys, including Pandora, Rhapsody, TuneIn, Audible, Stitcher, Amazon Cloud, and Opio. And all of that is via the Mini Connected app on your phone, slotted into a phone dock in the console, which also gets you power and an external antenna. Now, even without an app, you've got AM, FM, HD radio, satellite's optional, 6-disc is optional, like you'd really want that, auxiliary jack and USB. Basic audio is a 6-speaker rig, and you can upgrade to Harman Kardon surround sound, which we do have. Now, controlling all of your head unit gear is an iDrive controller down here, but very different than BMW. Not in its layout, but in its altitude. When it's up here in a console, like on most BMWs, your hand is like so as it operates it. Now your finger's like this. You're using a down-pointed fingertip. This was a pain to use. Now driving our Mini gets us to this automatic shifter because we have the 6-speed automatic. We'll size it up on the road. Paddles on this car because of the automatic. Around the shifter, you've got your drive mode controller like you've never seen before. Take it over to the green mode, the normal mode, or the sport mode. Now under its cute little snout, you've got 2 engine choices, depending whether you get a Cooper or a Cooper S. The base Cooper's got a 3-cylinder. This is an S. We've got a 4. Both engines are turbocharged, but ours has got 2 liters of displacement versus 1.5. 189 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. MPG varies on your transmission. 2940 if you get a manual. Interestingly, lower MPG if you get an automatic. It doesn't usually go that way. And regardless of what engine size or transmission you've got, front-wheel drive. Let's go for a ride. Out on the open road, I'm pleased to report that the Mini hasn't lost its mininess, even though it's a little more maxy than it was. It still has this go-kart-like steering. Short wheelbase, tightly sprung undercarriage, and a stiff shell all leads into that. Maybe you can hear that nice little exhaust snarl. Before you turn your back on that automatic, know that it's a really good one, especially when the ring's in the sport mode or the shifter's in the sport gate. Gears change tightly and cleanly. I find this is what works best. Sportier rewards what this car is all about. The ride quality is what I would call a comfortable go-kart. It's not jarring and super taut. Some Minis in the past, especially with the Cooper S package, could be a little bit brittle. Not anymore. And all around, the ergo is really good. It's a spacious enough car. For me, I'm pretty tall. And visibility is not terribly constricted, even though we have some very chunky pillars back at the rear corners. Okay, a Cooper S 4-door is $26 or so base, exactly $1,000 more than a 2-door. You're paying $500 a door if you want to look at it that way. Now, $1,500 more if you want the automatic transmission. It's a pretty good one, I gotta say, and it seems to pair well with the mission of a 4-door car. Once you load this guy up CNET style, you're right up against 30 grand. They've retained the essential mininess to the vehicle, even though they've added some inches and added some doors. A pretty good trick. They did their homework. And the fact that you've got a more practical and justifiable platform for the purchaser who wants to make sure it's the right car for more years to come, they should sell these things like mad.
More cars driven CNET style. Standing by now at cnetoncars.com. Click on the road.